Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Masonic Villages. We are pleased that you're with us today to help us honor our military and the veterans who serve and protect this great country of ours. If you are able, will you please rise for the presentation of the flags? The flag of the United States of America is presented by Larry Wolford. The flag of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is presented by Raymond Vaughn. Honor guards are Don March and Herb Ridyard, all veterans and Masonic Village residents. And now the toast to the flag presented by Winton Hewitt and Leonard Bazar, Ben Franklin Chapter, National Sojourners.
Here's to the red of it. There's not a thread of it, no nor a shred of it, and all the spread of it from foot to head. But heroes bled for it, faced steel and lead for it, precious blood shed for it, bathing it red.
Here's to the white of it, who knows the right of it, but feels the might of it through day and night. Womanhood's care for it, made manhood dare for it, purity's prayer for it keeps it so white.
Here's to the blue of it, beauteous view of it, heavenly hue of it, star-spangled dew of it, constant and true. Diadems gleam for it, state stands supreme for it, liberty's beam for it, brightens the blue.
Here's to
the whole of it, stars, stripes, and pole of it, body and soul of it, oh, and the roll of it, sun shining through. Hearts in accord for it, swear by the sword for it, thanking the Lord for it, the red, white, and blue.
God bless America.
The Army flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Paul Andrews. The Navy flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Russell Baker. The Marine flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Eugene Light. The Air Force flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Chester Brown. The Coast Guard flag is presented by veteran and Mason Barry Rissmiller. The Merchant Marine flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Edward Miller. The POW MIA flag is presented by veteran and Masonic Village resident Charles Schaefer. The flag of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania is presented by the Grand Master and the Grand Lodge officers.
And salute. Two.
It's okay. And now would you please welcome Robert J. Bateman, Right Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania.
Good morning. What a beautiful day to be here in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. Today we are going to honor our men and women serving in the military and our veterans and all those who gave their lives for our freedom in dedicating this eternal flame in their honor. I ask those who can stand, please do so. I invite the active military and the veterans, if they wish to salute the flag by a hand salute, please do so. But at this time, we will now salute the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to introduce Brother Ray Foose, who will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now I'd like to introduce bagpiper Brother Jeff Conaway, an employee of Houck & Company who actually worked in helping create this site. We also are going to have 3 of our seniors from our children's home, Tiana Gatewood, Jamira Phillips, Jesse Goranson, who will be presenting flags to be placed at the Eternal Flame, followed by graduate from our children's home, senior pastor for our Masonic Villages in Elizabethtown, and Grand Chaplain, Reverend Preston Van Dersen, who'll be providing the invocation.
Let us pray. O great God, what a glorious day. And so we give you thanks as we gather at this sacred place to remember all who gave some and some who gave all. With deep reverence, we remember all who have served or are serving this wonderful nation we call the United States of America. As they are in our armed forces, we offer our deepest appreciation. And so we dedicate now this special place to their sacrifice and honor. And we thank the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, the many donors, and our Grand Master for this special place of remembrance. May all who come to this holy ground feel the flame of freedom burning deep within their hearts, that they may dedicate themselves to never letting its glorious light diminish. May each of us be willing to sacrifice one for the other, that we may continue always to live for freedom and justice for all. And may this glorious light guide our paths, that we may remember always the sacrifices made on our behalf. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
You may be seated, please. Veterans, you are invited to stand if that's convenient, or to raise your hand and be recognized during the playing of your service branch song. The United States Army. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Marine Corps. States Navy. The Merchant Marine. At this point, I would like to recognize some of our leaders from the past as well as from our current. When I mention the group, if they would please rise and we could hold a recognition of them until I've introduced them all. The Masonic Village's Board of Directors, if they would please rise at this point. The past Grand Master and past Grand Treasurer that's here with us today. The past Masonic Village's board members, the worthy Grand Matron and worthy Grand Patron of the Order of Eastern Star. If you would, please. I would also like to thank each and every donor that has made this possible for us to be honoring veterans today. Thank you. It is my pleasure at this point to recognize the Honorable Thomas W. Corbett, Governor of Pennsylvania. It is also our pleasure to have with us today Bob D'Souza, Representative Senator Pat Toomey's office. David S. Hickernell, Pennsylvania House of Representatives. Dennis B. Stuckey, Lancaster County Commissioner. We're also fortunate to have the Mayor and Elizabethtown Borough Council members with us today. And also West Donegal Township supervisors. Today, we're honored also to have veterans from the Lebanon VA Medical Center here with us today. If you're here, raise your hand so we can recognize you. We're also blessed that our Grand Lodge leadership helped in bringing down residents and veterans from our Masonic Healthcare Center. If you'd recognize them, please. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Jeffrey W. Coy, Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer and Chairman of the Masonic Village Board of Directors, as our dedication speaker.
Thank you, Joe, very much. Right Worshipful Grand Master, Grand Lodge officers, veterans of the United States of America, ladies, friends, Governor Corbett, we are especially glad that you are here with us today. You honor us with your presence, and we welcome you sincerely. It's my pleasure to welcome you here for this celebration of our nation's heroes, past, present, and future. As part of today's dedication, we will be awarding a Quilt of Valor to our oldest Masonic Healthcare Center resident veteran here today. The Quilts of Valor Foundation is a national nonprofit organization staffed completely by volunteers and funded totally by donations. The mission of the foundation is to cover all service members and veterans touched by war with a comforting and healing quilt of valor. To date, more than 105,000 quilts have been awarded nationally. 105,000. Last winter, the Masonic Village Peacemakers Quilt Club created its first quilt of valor. It was pieced by Joan Lauberstein and quilted by Donna Hoover. Today, they will award it to Brother Bill Hornberger, who enlisted in the United States Navy in December of 1941 after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Brother Hornberger, in recognition of your service and sacrifice to this nation, it is a privilege to serve, honor, and comfort you through the award of this quilt of valor. Though we may never know the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, as a gesture of gratitude of a grateful nation, we award you this quilt of valor. It's happening right over here, folks. Congratulations, sir. You honor us with your presence today, and we congratulate you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your service to the United States of America. Thank you. If you would like to know more about the Quilts of Valor program and the foundation that it represents, including how to nominate a veteran for the award, volunteers are available at a booth at the corner to my right or in the Green Village area. Some of you here today may not know much about the Masonic Villages, or for that matter, about Freemasonry, the organization which owns and operates this beautiful campus. To be brief, Freemasonry is the oldest and largest fraternity in the world, founded centuries ago on the principles of brotherly love, charity, and truth. As for charity, our Masonic Villages provide $31 million worth of care and services to those who cannot afford it last year alone, $31 million. Masons are patriotic. Pennsylvania Masons have given hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years to support our military serving overseas, as well as their loved ones here at home. We have provided calling cards for troops serving overseas and in hospitals, baby showers and supplies for expectant mothers who remain at home, assistance with veterans courts and group homes, support of telemedicine at military bases, Christmas parties, and special trips for military families, and even child care services. The Veterans Grove here at Elizabethtown is one of several monuments that Masons support. Others include the Washington Monument at Valley Forge, the Friend to Friend Memorial at Gettysburg, and the George Washington National Masonic Memorial in Alexander, Virginia. This Veterans Grove, to my right, was originally established in 1927 to commemorate the 268 Pennsylvania Masons who perished during the First World War. Several years ago, we renovated and added special features to the monument, as well as a picnic amenities, so that visitors can take the time to remember, honor, and pray for those who having served in our armed forces and for veterans. The stone pathway leading up to the monument displays the various conflicts that our nation has fought and continues to fight. The entrance proclaims the inspirational words of those who have led our country during the times of unrest, beginning with Thomas Jefferson's bold declaration, "Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty." Many of our country's leaders in wartime and in peace have been Freemasons. We care about this great country, and we care about those who sacrifice to maintain our freedom. In the next few minutes, I invite you to join with me in reflecting upon the conflicts that our nation has been involved in and the Freemasons who have made significant impacts upon our history up through today. First was our American Revolution. General and Brother George Washington commanded the Continental Army with a small force of Virginia militia and Native American allies. He obviously went on to become the first president of the United States, setting the path for the office of Commander-in-Chief in the future. He is also the president who is most often seen in portraits wearing Masonic regalia. Other notable Masons in the Revolutionary War included Admiral John Paul Jones, America's great revolutionary naval commander, known for exclaiming, "I have not yet begun to fight." Also General Henry Knox, the first Secretary of War under the U.S. Constitution. General Ethan Allen, who founded the state of Vermont and represented the Green Mountain Boys. And Joseph Brant, a Mohawk Indian chief and the first known Indian Freemason. He fought as a colonel with the Loyalists, but was credited with saving lives of several patriot Freemasons. In the War of 1812, again, many military heroes were Masons. A colonel in the Tennessee militia, Andrew Jackson, became a national hero upon defeating the British at the Battle of New Orleans. He went on to serve in the Congress and became the 7th President of the United States. General Lewis Cass, as a reward for his service in the war, was appointed governor of the Michigan Territory. He went on to serve as Secretary of War and Secretary of State. Colonel and Brigadier General Sylvanus Thayer, also known as the father of West Point, was an early superintendent of the military academy and often an early advocate of engineering education in the United States. In the Mexican-American War from 1846 to 48, General Winfield Scott, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Americas, who served a total of 53 years as an officer, including 47 years as a general in the major wars. Another one was George McClellan, who later became the Union General-in-Chief of the Civil War and later Governor of New Jersey. And Commodore John Sloat, who took possession of California and served as the first military governor. All were Freemasons. In the Civil War, brothers fought against brothers. Only 30 or 40 miles from where we sit today, the major battle of that war. When the Civil War began, there were an estimated 500,000 Freemasons. Approximately 18,000 of them fought on both sides at the Battle of Gettysburg. Confederate General Pierre Beauregard commanded the bombardment of Fort Sumter in the harbor at Charleston, which was under the command of his Masonic brother, Union General Robert Anderson, who had been Beauregard's teacher at West Point. Union General Winfield Scott Hancock and Confederate General Louis Armistead had been friends, Masonic brothers, and fellow officers who chose to fight on opposite sides when the war broke out. During Pickett's charge on the third day at Gettysburg, both officers were wounded within a few hundred yards of each other. Knowing his wounds were fatal, General Armistead sent a message to regret to General Hancock, and he entrusted his personal effects, including his Masonic watch, to Captain Henry Bingham. Other Masonic heroes during the Union, who included the Union as a military leader, was Joshua Chamberlain, who received the only battlefield promotion to general during the Civil War and was awarded his country's Medal of Honor for bravery. Joshua Chamberlain later went on to be elected governor of Maine on 4 different occasions. Major General and Brother Mason Daniel Butterfield, known for writing America's best bugle call, Taps. David Farragut, the first Admiral of the U.S. Navy, and Union Brigadier General James Garfield, who became our 20th president. During the Spanish-American War in 1898, a lieutenant colonel of the Rough Rider Regiment, Brother Theodore Roosevelt, led a charge at the Battle of San Juan and became one of the most conspicuous heroes of the war. After serving as governor of New York and vice president, he assumed the role of our 26th president following the assassination of President McKinley, who was also a Freemason. Also fighting in the war was Colonel William Jennings Bryan, who, as Secretary of State in President Wilson's cabinet, negotiated over 30 treaties. During the Great War, as it was called, World War I, from 1914 to 1918, many Masonic heroes came to the forefront, not the least of which was Captain Harry Truman, who served as an artillery commander in France for his National Guard unit. He later served as senator and vice president, becoming our 33rd president after the death of his Masonic brother, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He made several crucial decisions in history, including the order of the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan to bring an end to the Second World War. With 26 aerial victories, Brother Eddie Rickenbacker was America's most famous and decorated combat pilot in the war. He later became the longtime president of Eastern Airlines. Army General John Joseph Pershing, also known as Blackjack, led the American Expeditionary Forces in Europe during the First World War. In 1921, he was given the highest rank of General of the Armies, a rank only conferred once, signifying service directly under the President. Colonel John Thomas Axton served as the Army's first Chief of Chaplains. He officiated at the interment of the unknown soldier at Arlington Cemetery in 1921. During World War II, notable Masons included Gerald Ford, who served as a lieutenant commander in the Navy. He took the oath of office in 1974 in the aftermath of the resignation of President Nixon. Former Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, General George Marshall, served as Secretary of State and organized the European Recovery Plan, most often known as the Marshall Plan. General Hap Arnold held the roles of General and Army General in the Army in World War I and General of the Air Force in World War II. An aviation pioneer, he was the only Air Force general to hold the rank of 5-star general, and the only person to held a 5-star rank in 2 different military branches. Other Masonic heroes in the Second World War included Senator Robert Dole, 5-star General Omar Bradley, 5-star Admiral Ernest King, and Audie Murphy, who received every military combat award for valor available from the United States Army. At this time, I'd like to take a moment and recognize all World War II veterans who are here today. Please stand as you are able or raise your hand so we may honor you. World War II veterans. Thank you for your service. American troops entered the Korean War from 1950 to 1953 to help South Korea fight against the forces of communism. Again, many military leaders were Freemasons. A former U.S. Army Chief of Staff, General Douglas MacArthur, led forces in France during World War I, commanded the Allied forces in the South Pacific in World War II, oversaw the successful Allied occupation of post-war Japan, and led the United Nations forces in the Korean War. General Matthew Ridgway succeeded MacArthur in Korea and was most famous for resurrecting the United Nations war effort. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1986 by President Ronald Reagan. Let's take a moment to recognize all Korean War veterans who are here today. Please stand as you are able or wave so we may honor you. Thank you for your service. More than 58,000 Americans gave their lives to combat the communist regime throughout the Vietnam War from 1964 to 1975. Military Masonic heroes included Air Force General Daniel Chappie James, a fighter pilot who in 1975 became the first African American to reach the rank of 4-star general. He instructed African American pilots in the Second World War. He flew over 101 combat missions in Korea and flew 78 combat missions in North Vietnam. He was promoted to commander of the North American Air Defense Command with responsibility for all air defense and other sources of the United States and Canada. Retired Air Force Lieutenant General Robert D. Springer. Bob, I know you're here. I didn't get a chance to shake your hand yet. But General Springer, logged more than 6,000 flying hours, completed 72 combat missions as a command pilot in Southeast Asia. He also served as an instructor, intelligence officer, Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel, Inspector General, and Commander. He retired in 1988 as a Vice Commander-in-Chief of the Military Airlift Command. He is a 1950 graduate of the Patton Masonic School for Boys. U.S. Air Force Colonel Harris Brooks served in the Vietnam War and in Desert Storm, where he served as a Deputy Director for Aeromedical Evacuation out of Saudi Arabia. Now retired, he is a trustee for the March of Dimes and directs Pennsylvania Freemasonry's Change for Troops program. Let us recognize all Vietnam War veterans here today. Please stand as you are able or wave so we may recognize you. Thank you for your service. The Persian Gulf War began when Saddam Hussein ordered the invasion of Kuwait in August of 1990. After Hussein defied United Nations Security Council demands to withdraw, the United States led an air offensive known as Operation Desert Storm. Highly decorated in the Vietnam War was U.S. Army General and brother Norman Schwarzkopf, who commanded the Desert Storm and led all coalition forces in the Persian Gulf War. Please stand if you are a veteran of the Persian Gulf War so we may honor you, or wave if you're unable to stand. Thank you for your service. In response to the September 11th terrorist attacks, the United States-led coalition forces began Operation Enduring Freedom in 2001 with an intense bombing campaign on the war on terrorism, targeting Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda organization and the extreme fundamentalist Taliban government. Masons, again, were among the ranks of our finest military. A U.S. Marine Corps captain and Air Force Reserve colonel, currently a Supreme Court Justice of Pennsylvania, Seamus McCaffrey, served in the Vietnam War and was mobilized in support of Operation Noble Eagle. He later served as Emergency Preparedness Liaison Officer for the Homeland Defense of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. General and brother Bob Kaler recently retired after more than 39 years of service in the Air Force. For 3 years, he served as a commander, U.S. Strategic Command, where he was responsible for plans and operations for all the U.S. forces, including the Strategic Deterrence and the Department of Defense space and cyberspace operations. Let us take a moment to recognize all veterans of Operation Enduring Freedom who are here today. Thank you for your service. Operation Iraqi Freedom began in 2003 when President Bush authorized the mission to rid Iraq of Hussein and eliminate his ability to develop weapons of mass destruction. The initiative continues to counteract ongoing attacks by insurgents, while the United States and coalition troops support the new and now freely elected government. U.S. Representative and brother Scott Perry is also a colonel in the Pennsylvania National Guard. As a commander of the task force from 2009 to 2010, Colonel Perry flew 44 missions and accrued nearly 200 combat flight hours. He went on to assume garrison command at Fort Indiantown National Training Site. Let us take a moment to recognize all the veterans of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Please stand or wave as you are able. Thank you for your service. While we pray for worldwide peace, we recognize that our military protects the liberty and freedoms our forefathers fought so hard to earn and maintain. The Veterans Grove was initially built to memorialize veterans who were Masons, but we realize that for every name I mentioned in my brief tribute, some of you may not think it was so brief, there were many other brave men and women who fought, ate, slept, and prayed alongside them. That's why Pennsylvania Masons built this sacred place. For anyone who wishes to honor servicemen or women who sacrificed their time and effort, and perhaps even their lives, to preserve the rights that this great country affords each of us every day. We are honored to have hundreds of those heroes here to celebrate with us today, and we salute all of you. We have one last veteran to recognize today, our Grand Master, Specialist 5th Class Sergeant of the Army Reserve, Robert J. Bateman. Grand Master, we are grateful to you for your leadership as we consecrate this memorial. Your officers salute you on this occasion. This will surely be the hallmark of your term as our Grand Master. Brethren, ladies, guests, won't you help us honor our Grand Master on this occasion? We have several past Grand Masters here today who have also served our country. Brethren, if you are a past Grand Officer and a veteran, please stand and be recognized. As stated on the paver leading up to the Veterans Grove Monument, today is a celebration for all those who serve or will serve in conflict and in peace, in times famous and forgotten. Thank you. May God bless our veterans, living and dead. May God bless Freemasonry around the world. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. So mote it be.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be faithful to a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
At this time, I would like those who have been selected to help us with the passing of the torch, if you would please start to come forward, the numbers from 1 to 40 running in this direction. I want to announce for everybody after the program, if you're looking for a paver, we have 3 locations here where we have computers set up that can identify exactly where that's going to be. There'll be representatives from RLPS Architects who helped us with the design. They'll be here to help you find your pavers.
What do you think of the flyover? Ladies and brethren, friends of Freemasonry, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those who participated in this dedication and planning. I ask you to please retire the colors.
Yes. Yes.
Right, straight. Post colors. And salute. 2. About face. Right face. Okay,
I would like to thank Brother Jeffrey W. Coy, Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer, for his very inspirational words. Jeffy did something today that I know I couldn't have done, so thank you so very much. I would like to thank every veteran and your family for your service to our great country. Thank you so very much. And I would like to thank each and every one of you here today for participating in this glorious event. And thank you so very much. So ladies, brethren, friends of Freemasonry, thank you, and God bless America. Brother Ray Foose.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, and at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Please enjoy the day. Please come up and enjoy the Veterans Grove and the Eternal Flame. Those of you veterans, if you were here and you saw lanyards being worn by any of our information desk, stop by. We'd love to have it so we can recognize you and say thank you very much. Have a great day, folks.